we get the next year's committees approved in July, and it's ongoing work as far as we have people that retire no longer want to be on, and then we do have a lot of people that want to be on committees. Some want to be on specific committees, and there may not be openings, so they'll go to another committee, hoping to someday get to the committee that they want to be on.
Well, if you're doing it right, it is a lot of time. So you can understand why, at some point, some folks sort of bow out because, again, there's not just showing up when it's playoff time, but putting together the sections. It's another committee responsibility once the classifications are figured out. And also, sort of following as the regular season goes on so that they have a little and can bring a little wisdom to those committee meetings.
Yeah, I like to have, when I appoint committee members, I like to have a wide range from different areas of District 7. And we have people from everywhere from single A up to 6A, depending on what sport we're in. And that way, their expertise in that area helps us come committee time when we're doing the brackets. So different people on the committee are responsible for different aspects of to bring their knowledge back to the committee. A lot of people may not see a lot of single A games, so we have people that follow the single A, 2A, 3A, so on and so forth. So we rely on them come time to do the brackets.
Makes sense, right? One more question, and then if you have anything that you want to just throw out there to the general public or to a lot of the coaches and athletic directors and kids that are watching. You guys are back at Lilly Field again this year for the championships, May 31st. That's a Wednesday. June 1st. That's a Thursday. Penn West University, and I know I'm going to be calling it Cal U, and a lot of people call it Cal U, but it's technically Penn West University. What continues to make that facility, and I know that you guys had to go away from that facility for a couple of years because of renovations down there, but what continues to make that facility the go-to place for the softball championships?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's the staff at Penn West or Cal U, the coaching staff, the athletic director. They've always they run a first-class facility. They've upgraded their facilities. They got great parking there. It's fan friendly, and we enjoy going back there. They're very welcoming, and in between, if you've ever been there, in between every game, they're out fixing the field so that every game you feel like you're playing on the field has never been played on, and you could be the third or fourth game of the day. So they do an amazing job there. We're very fortunate and happy to have a partnership with them, and we'll have that for the next 3 years. This year and 2 more years to follow, we have a contract with them to have our championships there.
Good stuff. So anything else before we let you go and get to the brackets that you'd like to share with everybody?
Well, we did bring a new sponsor on. We're very happy to have the Pittsburgh Pirates sponsoring our baseball and softball championships this year. They're a new sponsor, and we're thrilled to have them there. There's going to be some exciting interactive things that the Pirates are going to do at both the softball championships and at the baseball championship. So we hope everyone comes out and enjoys themselves and gets to interact with the Pirate Parrot and maybe some other fun things that'll be going on. So we're very thrilled to have the Pirates on board with us.
Kudos to them. It's a unique situation we have here in southwestern Pennsylvania in that the 3 major sports teams, the Pirates, the Penguins, and the Steelers, are very heavily involved in youth sports, and that's awesome that the Pirates are the official sponsor for the WPIAL Softball and baseball championships this year. Mr. Sortino, go home, get some sleep. We'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, Ben Sortino. We'll call him the Chief. of the WPIAL Chief Operating Officer. Tomorrow, we'll talk to him again. The WPIAL Baseball Playoff Pairings Show will be at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. No games that they have to wait for as far as the results are concerned. All right, the results are in, and we'll unveil the brackets, all 6 classifications, and we'll start with the big boys, or the big gals up in 6A. When we return, it's the 2023 WPIAL Softball Playoff Pairings Show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and I'm an education major at Seton Hill
Okay,
University.
so hopefully you guys can hear me now, but
One of my favorite
we had some technical challenges, I guess, but I think I'm online now with YouTube, and I did a little bit of a pre-show that I hope to potentially I'll do again, maybe in the end. But we'll see how things go here. But the one interesting thing that they did say was that, actually 2 interesting things that I picked up anyway, was they have the Pirates as a new sponsor. So I guess the Parrot's going to be at the championship games and all that for both softball and baseball, which is pretty cool. And then the other thing too was I didn't know this. So the selection committee for this bracket, they talk to people who watch more games. So if they don't have many people watching single A, they'll get single A people who know, and then give feedback and get an understanding of what they need. So I think that's pretty cool. So but yeah, let's get back. They're going to do 6A first, so we'll join in and listen to them here.
Scotty is the athletic director at Jefferson Morgan. This is fourth, 5th year now as the chair of the softball steering committee. He will be joining us shortly to talk about what went into putting these brackets together. All right, so let's unveil them. 6A, I mean, there's only one section. Top 6 teams make it, so I think that's probably pretty easy to figure out. But Seneca Valley, they win today, 3-0 over Hempfield. They are the number 1 seed. Hempfield is the number 2 seed. That's not so bad either, because both of those teams, because there's only 6 teams, get a bye into the semifinals. So they're already semifinal bound. On the Seneca Valley side of the bracket, they will play the winner of the 4-5 game. The 4th seed is the North Allegheny Tigers. The 5th seed is the Pine Richland Rams. Those 2 teams, Pine Richland and North Allegheny, will meet on Wednesday, May 17th at 4 o'clock at Seneca Valley High School, NA, against Pine Richland. 2 northern rivals going at it to face another northern rival, Seneca Valley. Other side of the bracket, Hempfield Spartans, 2 seed. They'll play the winner of the 3-6 game. 3 seed is the Norwin Knights. 6 seed is the Cannon McMillan Big Macs. Cannon Mac, Pine Richland, and Mount Lebanon all were vying for those last 2 spots as the top 4. Seneca Valley, Hempfield, Norwin, and North Allegheny had sort of pulled away from the rest of the group. Cannon McMillan, Norwin, Wednesday, May 17th, 5 p.m. at Gateway High School. Our producer, Chris Lackner, will throw those 6A brackets up there. There you see it. So it's just little. These 6A brackets, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games will decide a champion. The semifinals, as you see there, will be a week from Wednesday. So it's going to be a while for Seneca Valley.
I'm kind of glad my kid doesn't play at 6A, because
Norwin, Cannon Mac,
that kind of
Pine
stinks.
Richland, North Allegheny, those games are on Wednesday.
Not very competitive. I mean, it's competitive, but
Wednesday,
there's just not a lot of teams.
24th
It's like going to
when we will see
a travel tournament. There's only like 4 teams in it.
the quarter or the semifinals in Class 6A. Direct and to the point in Class 6A. 5A, a little different. It's a full 16-team field, so Everybody playing, no
Let's go,
preliminary
Western
round
Beaver.
games,
Get you a good
no
draw.
first round buys. The first seed, number 1, is the defending champions, the Riverhawks of Armstrong. Armstrong winners of Section 2 this season. 16-1 overall, their record. In the first round, in these first round games for 5A are all on Monday, May 15th. Armstrong will face the 16th seed, the Upper St. Clair Panthers. USC ended up tied with Bethel Park for third place in Section 4. Upper St. Clair and Armstrong, Monday, 5 o'clock at Norwin High School. Staying on that left side of the bracket, the 8th seed is the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars, the number 2 team out of Section 4. TJ will take on the Plum Mustangs. Plum, the number 3 team out of Section 1. Plum and Thomas Jefferson, 9 versus 8, Monday, 3 o'clock at Gateway High School. The number 4 seed is the West Allegheny Indians, champions of Section 3. Impressive 18-1 record. West A will open up with the Fox Chapel Foxes. They draw the number 13 seed. The Foxes out of Section 1 finished in 4th place. Fox Chapel against West Allegheny, Monday, 5 o'clock at Montour. So right down the road for the West A Indians. 5th seed, the North Hills Indians, the runners-up in Section 1. North Hills with an overall record this year of 14-3, and 2 of those losses came to section champion Shaler. North Hills will face South Fayette in the first round of the playoffs. South Fayette finished in a tie with Western Beaver and Mars for second place in Section 3. South Fayette against North Hills will be Monday, 3 o'clock at Montour. So that little quadrant there, and when you throw the brackets up, we see
that win with Western Beaver was huge against South Fayette.
South Fayette, North Hills.
That really
Fox
put him in a nice spot.
West Allegheny. There you see it. Bottom left-hand corner, those matchups at Montour. Right side of the bracket, the number 2 seed is the Shaler Titans. Perfect season thus far, 16-0. Shaler will take on Bethel Park. Mentioned the Hawks tied with Upper St. Clair, 6-10 record for BP, 7-10, as you see on the brackets. So that game will be at Fox Chapel High School Monday at 5 o'clock. 7th seed Franklin Regional Panthers, 10th seed Moon Tigers, Monday, 4 o'clock at Peterswood Park in Peters Township. Franklin Regional tied for second.
I see Western Beaver got a tough draw with Latrobe.
Moon was in that tie with Western Beaver and South Fayette.
The pitcher actually plays with my daughter.
3 seed is the Trinity Hillers, champions of Section
she's really
4.
good.
Record of 14-2
so that's going to be a really
overall.
tough game.
Trinity will take on the Penn Trafford Warriors.
Western Beaver can do it.
They finished in 4th place in Section 2. PT and Trinity Monday, 2 o'clock at Peterswood Park. And finally, the 6th seed, lower right corner there, the Latrobe Wildcats. Latrobe, 13-3 record. They finished tied for second in Section 2. They will face the Western Beaver Golden Beavers. What a great story for Western Beaver. Barely won any game since they co-op with Lincoln Park and moved up to 5A. They have really been throttled the last couple of years. Excuse me. Turned things around this year. 8-7 record, tied for second place. Western Beaver against Latrobe, Monday, 5 o'clock at Gateway High School. So you see there, looking at the brackets, that the second round, Monday is the first round. Second round will be Wednesday, May 17th. So the WPIAL, and this is something we could talk about with Scott Moore, deciding to go first round and second round on the same week, basically. Monday And Wednesday, we'll see when we get down to the lower classifications, the other matchups will go Tuesday and Thursday. That's a pretty good field right there, Class 5A. Since we've gone 6 classifications, 5A in many sports has been the most enjoyable and most competitive. And it doesn't look like this year is going to be any different. All right, let's go now to Class 4A, the number 1 seed, another undefeated team in the WPIAL, 3 undefeated teams from the district going into the WPIAL postseason. The Elizabeth Forward Warriors, champions of Section 2, 16-0 record. EF gets a first-round bye. The number 2 seed, also getting a first-round bye, is the Montour Spartans, co-champions in Section 3, Montour record of 13-2. Number 3 seed, also receiving a first-round bye, the Chartiers Valley Colts. They tied Montour for the top spot in Section 3. And the number 4 seed, also receiving a first-round bye, the team that finished right behind Elizabeth Forward in Section 2, Bell Vernon, 15-4 record for the Leopards. So EF, Montour, Char Valley, Bell Vernon, top 4 seeds, all receiving first-round byes. The 8-9 game, the winner goes on to the quarterfinals to play Elizabeth Forward. The number 8 seed is the Hampton Talbots out of Section 3. The Talbots finished in 3rd place with a 12-5 record. They will take on the Golden Lions of Greensburg-Salem. They finished in 3rd place in Section 2 with a record of 10-7. Greensburg-Salem against Hampton at Fox Chapel High School Monday at 5 o'clock. These 4 first-round games in 4A are on Monday. The West Mifflin Titans draw the 5 seed. West Mifflin co-champions with Knock in Section 1. Final record of 12-5. The Titans will take on the McKeesport Tigers, a team they're familiar with. Section foes. We don't see that too often. McKeesport finished in 4th place in Section 1 with a record of 9-8. McKeesport, West Mifflin take 3. Titans won the first 2 matchups in the regular season. Will be Monday, 3 o'clock at Norwin High School. Other side of the bracket, Montour, the 2 seed, will await the winner of the 7-10 game. 7th seed, the Indiana Little Indians. 3rd team out of Section 1, record of 14-4. Indiana will open up against the 2-time defending champion Beaver Bobcats. Beaver finished in 4th place in Section 3 with a record of 7-9. Beaver against Indiana will be Monday, prime time, 7 o'clock at Gateway High School. Chartiers Valley, the 3rd seed, will await the winner of Knock Uniontown. That's the 6-11 matchup. Knock co-champions in Section 1, a 10-8 record overall, taking on Uniontown. The Red Raiders finished in 4th place in Section 2 with a record of 5-9. So let's look at the brackets now. You see the 4 teams already into the quarterfinals. EF, Montour, Chartiers Valley, Bell Vernon. Combined, those 4 teams only with 8 losses. But some pretty good teams playing in those first-round games. Again, the 8-9 game, Hampton and Greensburg-Salem.
Yeah,
West Mifflin,
Beaver
McKeesport
actually got a good draw, considering
West
them
Mifflin,
being last in our
West
section
Mifflin
here
and
in,
Bell Vernon are
in Beaver.
section foes.
But yeah,
Indiana
I don't know nothing
Beaver,
about Indiana.
winner
I don't
gets
know. But then they
Montour,
got to face Montour
Knock
in that next round. So
winner taking
that's
on
not gonna
Char
be
Valley.
fun.
Again, first round games. Knock
you think they
Uniontown
do
game, I
better
don't
with
think I-
shuffling these teams up?
4
but
o'clock Monday
I guess not.
at West Mifflin High School, as you can see there. My apologies. But first round, those 4 first round games are Monday. The winners then move on to Wednesday. So those teams with the byes don't have to wait that long. Wednesday, May 17th, a week from yesterday, they will be in action. Good look at and then the semifinals to be determined, the championship. Also, they haven't announced, by the way, top 3 seeds in 4A will qualify for the PIAA. It's also top 3 in 5A that make it to the state playoffs. So there will be consolation games. And I think all these brackets, even those that like 3A as we go on now, to make it to the states, even though those 4 semifinalists are the teams that qualify, they still will have consolation games to determine who is 3 and who is 4, much like we saw in basketball. All right, 16 teams in Class 3A. No first round buys, no preliminary round games. The number 1 seed, the Avonworth Antelopes. What a season. Winners of 17 of 18 in round 1. These first round games will be on Tuesday,
No surprise there.
May 16th. The Avonworth Antelopes in round 1 will take on the Seton LaSalle Rebels. Seton LaSalle finished in a tie for 3rd place with McGuffey in Section 4. Seton LaSalle and Avonworth at Montour High School Tuesday at 3 o'clock. The 8th seed is the Central Valley Warriors, one of 3 teams to finish as co-champions in Section 2. They finished with a 6-5 record. Central Valley will take on the 9th seed, the Deer Lakes Lancers, the number 3 team out of Section 1. That game, the Lancers 9-5. That game Monday, 5 o'clock at Montour High School. So doubleheader there, 1 verse 16, 8 verse 9 at Montour High School on Tuesday afternoon. 4th seed is the Burrell Buccaneers, the runners-up in Section 1 behind Avonworth, 11-5 record for the Bucks. They will be taking on the Mount Pleasant Vikings. Mount Pleasant finished in 4th place in Section 3 with a record of 11-8. Perennial
That's a
power.
tough draw for CV. If they win, they have to play
Mount Pleasant against
Avonworth.
Burrell at Plum High School on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Number 5 seed is the Mohawk Warriors, tri-champions in Section 2, 11-4 their record. Mohawk will take on the South Park Eagles, the runners-up in Section 4, a record of 11-5. Warriors and Eagles at North Allegheny High School prime time on Tuesday at 7 p.m. All right, to the other side of the bracket, the number 2 seed is the Southmoreland Scotties. You knew it was coming. Champions of Section 3, 13-2 record. Southmoreland will take on the McGuffey Highlanders. McGuffey finished tied for 3rd in Section 4, 8-6 mark. McGuffey against Southmoreland in the 15-2 game at Waynesburg University on Tuesday at 2 p.m. 7th seed, the Yacht Cougars, the green and orange, finished as the runners-up in Section 3 with a record of 9-4. Their first-round opponent will be the 10th seed, Elwood City Wolverines. Lincoln High in the house. Elwood City 11-5, excuse me. The Wolverines finished in 4th place. That's because the 3 teams ahead of them all finished in a tie for 1st place, and they were only a game back behind Mohawk, Hopewell, and Central Valley. Elwood City and York, Tuesday, 5 o'clock at North Allegheny High School. The number 3 seed, the Waynesburg Central Raiders, undefeated section champions, 13-3 overall. In Section 4, they were a perfect 10-0. Waynesburg Central will take on the 14th seed Valley Vikings. Valley finished in 4th place, a tie with Freeport in Section 1. Valley was 6-10, but they beat Freeport head-to-head. So Vikings in, Yellow Jackets out. Valley against Waynesburg Central. Tuesday, Peterswood Park at 4 p.m. 6th seed versus 11th seed. Hopewell against Ligonier Valley on Tuesday. Hopewell, one of the 3 teams that tied for the championship in Section 2, 10-6, their record. Ligonier Valley finished in 3rd place in Section 3 with a mark of 8-6. That game between the Vikings and the Rams, Tuesday, 5 o'clock at Plum High School. Brackets, Mr. Lackner. There you see 3A. We'll talk to Scott Moore. It is always tough when you have co-champions.
Yes, it looks like I think Opal has a pretty good chance of
champions,
making it to the
which this
semifinals.
classification had in Section 2.
They don't. That looks like a pretty good draw for them. Central Valley's going to have a tough
Tuesday,
time
the
getting past Avonworth
quarterfinals,
if they
the
get
8
past Deer
winners
Lakes.
will then face off 2 days later.
But yeah,
Thursday,
it's
May 18th.
this looks like a pretty fun bracket here.
All right, let's move now to Class 2A, where
Cool.
there were 13 teams. That means 3 first-round byes in 2A. The first bye went to the defending WPIAL and PIAA champions and the undefeated team winners of Section 1 2A, the Neshannock Lancers. They are the number 1 seed. They get a first-round bye. The number 2 seed, the team that finished right behind them in Section 1. Lots of love for Section 1. Wait, what do the kids do? Something like that. And deservedly so. Strong section. Laurel is the number 2 seed. Spartans 14-2. Both losses to Neshannock. Oh, by the way, they will get a first-round bye. And the other team not in Section 1 to get a bye is the champions of Section 2, the Sarah Catholic Eagles, 15-2. They receive a first-round bye. All right, so first-round matchup, 8-9. These are Tuesday, May 16th. The 8th seed is the Burgettstown Blue Devils. Burgettstown finished in 3rd place in Section 3, overall record of 11-7. The Blue Devils in round 1 will take on the Apollo Ridge Vikings. Apollo Ridge, 3rd place in Section 2, sub 500 record, 6-9. Apollo Ridge against Burgettstown Tuesday, 5:30 at Penn Trafford High School. The number 4 seed just missing out on the byes in Class 2A. The co-champions, or one of the co-champions in Section 3, the Charleroi Cougars, 15-2. They just defeated Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, and I've been told that the second matchup matters. Charleroi, a winner just the other day over Osh. I believe it was Monday of this week. So Charleroi gets the number 4 seed in round 1. They will take on the 13th seed. That's the Steel Valley Ironmen, the number 4 team out of Section 2, record of 4-10. Steel Valley against Charleroi Tuesday, 3 o'clock at West Mifflin High School. Greensburg Central Catholic is the number 5 seed. GCC finished 2 games behind Sarah Catholic in Section 2, record of 11-2. The Centurions will face the 12th seed, the Bentworth Bearcats. They were the very last team to qualify for the softball playoffs. They did so yesterday, finishing in a tie for 4th place with Fort Cherry. 6-8, the Bearcats record. Bentworth against Greensburg Central Catholic Tuesday, 5 o'clock at West Mifflin High School. The Burgettstown Apollo Ridge winner will face Neshannock, and the 4-13 winner, Charleroi Steel Valley, will face the 5-12 winner, Greensburg Central Catholic Bentworth, just in case you needed that explanation. 7-10 matchup. 7th seed, Riverside Panthers, Section 1, 11-4 their record. They finished in 3rd place. Riverside will take on the Fort Cherry Rangers, tied for 4th in Section 3 with Bentworth. Rangers with a record of 7-8. That's the 7-10 game, Tuesday, 4 o'clock at Peterswood Park, field number 2. If Riverside wins, we will see Riverside Laurel take 3. The 6-11 matchup is Our Lady of the Sacred Heart against Shenango. Osh, co-champs in Section 3, 12-3 overall, taking on a Shenango team that finished 4th. Still a strong season. The Wildcats 7-8. That game set for Tuesday, 3 o'clock at North Allegheny High School. Shenango Osh winner will move on to play Sarah Catholic in the quarterfinals. So the 2A brackets, there you see them with the 3 teams with the bye. And lots of love for Section 1. They get the 1 seed the 2 seed, the 7 seed with Riverside, and the 11th seed with Shenango. So spreading them out, not completely. They didn't make sure all 4 were in different brackets. You see that lower quadrant.
Where is Peterswood Park? I have no
Char
idea where
Valley,
that's at.
Steel Valley,
Hopefully Riverside finds out.
and Greensburg Central Catholic Bentworth. Those teams representing sections 2 and 3. But these games, again, first round on Tuesday, and then the quarterfinals, which will be the first game for Neshannock, Laurel, and Sarah Catholic, will be 1 week from today, Thursday, May 18th. All right, one more bracket to talk about. It's Class A, and it's the 12 teams. 12 teams, 4 first-round buys. Teams with the first-round buys, the number 1 seed is the Union Scotties, Union champions of Section 1, a record of 14-3 overall. They are the defending champs. Number 2 seed, Perfection, for the Mighty Mikes of Carmichael's High School, champions of Section 2. They get the 2 seed, and the 3 seed goes to the Section 3 champions, right in order, 1, 2, 3. Fraser Commodores get the 3 seed in the first round bye. Excuse me. The runner-up that gets a first round bye, 4th seed, goes to Trisha Alderson's Chartiers Houston Buccaneers. 12-5 record. Their only blemishes in section were a pair of losses to Carmichael's. So Union, Carmichael's, Fraser, Chartiers Houston get the first round buys, and their first game will be a week from tonight in the quarterfinals, or a week from today. The first round matchups in Class A. The 8-9 matchup. Number 8 seed is the Carleton Cougars. 3-way tie for second place in Section 1. Carleton was 8-5. Cougars will face the Jeanette Jayhawks, the number 3 team out of Section 3 with a record of 11-4. Carleton against Jeanette Tuesday, 2 o'clock, Peterswood Park, field number 2. So 2 o'clock at field 2 for the Cougars and Jayhawks. Winner of that game will take on the Union Scotties. First round matchup, perennial power West Green. The Pioneers, runners up a year ago, 11-7 record overall, 3rd place in Section 2 behind Carmichael's and Chartiers Houston. Coach Sim's squad will be taking on the Monessen Greyhounds, an old section rival. Monessen finished in 4th place in Section 3 with a record of 7-7. Monessen against West Green, Tuesday, 4 o'clock at Waynesburg University. Winner of that game will take on Chartiers Houston in the quarterfinals. 7th seed, the Leechburg Blue Devils, 36 consecutive years for Leechburg into the postseason. Runners-up in Section 3, 10-7 record. In round 1, they will take on the Rams of Southside. Southside finished in the tie, 3-way tie in Section 1 with Carleton and Northgate, 8-5 record. Southside Leechburg, Tuesday, 3:30 at Penn Trafford High School. And the winner of that game will go on to play Carmichael's. Finally, the 6-11 matchup, Jefferson Morgan against Northgate. The Rockets finished in 4th place in Section 2, record of 8-7. The Flames finished again, tied for 2nd in Section 1 with an 8-5 record. Northgate against Jefferson Morgan, Tuesday, 2 o'clock at Peterswood Park, field number 1. Winner of that game will move on Thursday to take on Fraser. Let's see those Class A brackets, 12 teams. Tuesday for the 4 first-round games, and then the 4 quarterfinal matches.
I really don't know anything about Leechburg.
Thursday, May 18th.
And Carmichael's, I know, is a good team.
Top 4 teams make it to the state playoffs in Class.
Southside got a 10 seed.
Top 3 teams make it to the state playoffs in 2A.
They're a young team,
Top 4
so
teams make it to the state playoffs.
It's an honor just to make the playoffs.
top 3 teams in 4A, top 3 teams in 5A, and I believe it's only the top 2 in Class 6A. So there you have it. Brackets officially released. Check out our website. I'm sure we're going to have a slew of stories and breakdowns, and then we'll have the games starting next Monday. We take a break. When we return, we'll talk to Softball Steering Committee Chairman Scott Moore when the WPIAL Softball.
All right. So I don't know if we want to talk about that guy, or I don't even know who he is, but I guess someone from the WPIAL who helps put all this stuff together. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So Beaver's got a number 10 seed, and they're playing the number 7 Indiana. Again, I don't know nothing about Indiana. Western Beaver, number 11 seed, they're playing Latrobe. Now, I do know Latrobe just because the pitcher, Kayla Williams, is one of Macy's teammates on Team PA, and I know she's a really good pitcher, and that team is a really good team. They're deep. They got a really strong lineup, so that'll be a tough matchup. And I know, I missed. I don't think I got the first half when I talked about all the teams, so I'm going to do that now, just to make sure I do it. But Western Beaver, Emma Bagacki, their pitcher, she's really turned it on recently. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. And actually, I can just start talking about that now. Let me see if I can find my list that I had here. It's one of these tabs. And like I said, I talked about this earlier, but for some reason it didn't save or stream. So I don't know why that was. But if you give me a second here, I can pull that list back up. And what this list is players, just key players in Beaver County that I feel that each of the teams have. So with Western Beaver, I have as key players is Emma Bagacki. I already mentioned her. She's their pitcher. And at first, in the beginning of the season, Izzy Lefebvre, and I really hope I said your name right, but I know she started out being a pitcher for them, but she ended up getting injured, and I'm not sure what her injury was, but it seems like at that point Emma Bagacki really started to pitch well, and she's a big reason why they beat South Fayette in one of the last section games. It really helped them secure that second spot in the section. So Emma Bagacki, I'm really I think that's going to be an exciting matchup between them and Latrobe, because I know how Kayla pitches, and I know Emma has been really pitching well recently. So it should be a good matchup. Then of course Izzy Lefebvre, she's a really good hitter on her team, and I saw she plays first and third with them. So she'll be a key player. And of course Shaylin Shaw, who's a 10 to watch player this year. She is one of the better hitters in the area, so she's in the outfielder. And another newcomer, I didn't know that this girl until middle of the season when she started to stick out a little bit with her performance. But her name's Caitlin Zeeley. She's their catcher. And what's interesting is when you have a good pitcher, right? That's usually the most important position on the field. But with a good pitcher, you need to have a good catcher, and they come one together. They're hand in hand, and you need one to help the other. So they both work together, and I think this Caitlin Zeeley is a decent catcher, and really part of the reason why Emma is having such a successful year in the circle. So then we go into Beaver, just to review here. So Beaver got the number 10 seed, which I think is a favorable draw for them, especially having the challenges that they had this year, moving away from being such a dominant team and being a team that had to work a little bit harder to get their wins. So that I think Coach Amy would be happy with the 10 seed, and they'll be playing Indiana, who's the number 7 seed. And of course, I don't know anything about Indiana. I have no idea who's on her team or anything like that, but you would think that that's a favorable draw for Beaver. So hopefully they can put it together. Now their players, of course, they have a 10-to-watch player. Her name is Sammy Springman. She's their shortstop. She was a catcher for the past two. Was it just last year or 2 seasons? No, it was just last year. She was a catcher for Peyton, and she did really well behind the plate. But now she's playing shortstop for them, and of course her bat is one of the better bats in the county. So she she's always going to be at the leaderboards with batting averages and stuff. Now Grace Thompson, she had to help fill the shoes of Peyton List leaving. And she did a good job, but she's starting to get hot at the plate. She's really starting to hit the ball. She's had several home runs that I saw. She's getting 3, 4, 5 hits a game. She's just doing really well at the plate. And another girl who's also heating up at the plate is Kenzie Springer. I've been seeing her in the leader charts here down the stretch too. So she's also someone to keep an eye on, at the plate here for Beaver. And then of course Taylor Young is another 10-to-watch player. She's also helping with pitching. So I think Grace and Taylor will be a combo to help Coach Amy get through the playoffs with that combo. Then now we move into 3A. So the higher seed is Hopewell. They got a number 6 seed. And they'll be playing Ligonier Valley. Now, I know Ligonier Valley has a pitcher, and the reason why I know this is because one of the pitcher who graduated is going to the same college my daughter's going to, so I kind of followed them a little bit. But I think her name is Piper, I think. But she was pretty good. So the pitcher who went to Youngstown, graduated last year, she had an injury, and the girl who's pitching now for Ligonier filled in for her and actually did really well. But I think her name is Piper. So I don't really remember, but I know they have a decent pitcher on that team. And then of course Hopewell, they have their own decent pitcher in Maya Parrish. She'll be pitching, and she is healthy now. I know she got injured in the earlier or middle part of the season, and she took a ball off her hand, and it took her a couple games, maybe a week and a half to come back, but she seems to be full strength now, so she'll be good. Other players to watch on this team who's just stacked with bats is Chloe Nail. She's their shortstop. I also saw that she catches some too. Jordy Glumack is a power bat, always a threat to hit a home run. She is their catcher. And Ava Compton is another bat who has a really high batting average, and she's always getting on base for them. So she's their third baseman. She's also a very good hitter. And a girl who I was talking to Coach Rhonda earlier this year, and she was kind of disappointed that Kara Barkovich was injured, because she was looking forward to her playing an important role in this team, and she's back. So I don't know if she's 100%, and I don't know how rusty she is since she missed a large part of the season. But she is back in the lineup, so I'm sure that's going to help her. And she can also pitch as well, which I didn't know. She's an outfielder, and she will help pitch on occasion whenever Maya needs some assistance. But definitely Maya's going to take the shoulder load of the pitching for Hopewell down the stretch. Now the next team is another 3A team, which is the team my daughter plays for, Central Valley. They drew a number 8 seed, and they will play the number 9 seed, who is Deer Lakes, which I know Deer Lakes. I've followed them a little bit because one of the players was a teammate of my daughter's for a fall. And then she had decided, I'm not sure why she left. I don't think she wanted to travel as much as that team traveled at that time. But she's their catcher, and she's a really good ball player. But I don't know anything about pitching or anything like that. So I'm not real sure about the rest of that. But Central Valley, of course, I've followed them all year, and I watched them, and they're a really good team. They have a solid lineup, good pitching, good young pitching, and they have a duo of pitchers who really complement each other. The one girl, Abby Stewart, is dealing with a sore knee. She has some type of medical thing that she has with her knee, and her dad tried to explain it to me, and I was like, okay. But she has to have some kind of procedure done, but she's waiting until after the season to do that. But she's fighting through it, and she has her good days and she has her bad days. But what's good is Emma Weaver, who is her partner in crime, I guess. They are good friends. But Emma has been pitching really well, and she's starting to really come around. So she's been taking a lot of that load of pitching off of Abby, just because her knees is kind of hindering on that. So hopefully she gets better, Abby, and she's ready to go through the playoffs, and these two girls can be a combo that they need. Now, of course, bats, you can't talk about you can't talk about offense without mentioning Macy Littler. I mean, she's batted close to 700 this year. She's a bunting master, and she's fast, and she slaps, and she attacks holes and defenses, and she's a lot of fun to watch for sure. So hopefully they can dive into these playoffs and make some noise with her leading the way. So we'll see how that goes. And Maddie Spurnick, Maddie's an inspirational story, and I'm going to actually ask her if I can do an interview with her over the winter. But she's had both knees repaired, ACL injuries, and they were back-to-back years. So she's been away from the game for a while, and she's really starting to get into her groove. She played for me when I coached my Valley Rage team years ago, and she was just a consistent hitter who always put the ball in play, and just someone who you can rely on, and she's becoming that player. And I know her and Macy batted first and second for me for years, and it seems like when Coach Shannon put her batting at number 2, it almost like she was comfortable there, and she really started to excel. So it's fun to watch her, and I'm a big fan of hers, and hope she has a big playoff run. Mia Schroeds is someone, she's a senior for Central Valley. She's been really hitting the ball hard. She's a big power hitter, and the past couple weeks she's had 3 home runs, so she's starting to show some power that we need. And then another senior was Peyton Howler. She's, again, when you have a good catch or a good pitcher, you have to have a good catcher. They go hand in hand. You need one or the other, and Peyton does really good behind the plate. And she's also a really good leader for this team. I know there's some behind the scenes things going on with Central Valley, and Peyton is one of the seniors that are trying to keep things together. So she's doing a pretty good job of that. Okay, so then let's move down into the 2A, which is Riverside. They got a number 7 seed, and they're playing a number 10 seed in Fort Cherry. I don't know nothing about Fort Cherry. We played them a couple years ago, like maybe 2 years ago, for a tune-up game for the playoffs, and they were a pretty decent team, but I'm sure they've changed now, so I don't know. You can't really compare them back then. But Riverside, their key players, of course, you have Sam Rosenberger. She's a 10-to-watch player. She's a left-handed pitcher. She's pretty much going to take this team where they need to go. So I know I had a podcast with her, and she had mentioned that she wants to win a playoff game. And so I think she's going to be in a situation where she's going to be able to do just that. So it'll be fun to watch. And another senior on that team is Aaliyah Taviani. She's a really good hitter, strong hitter. She also pitches, but I don't think they use her very often as long as Sam is healthy. And Aaliyah's the second baseman for them. And like I said, she's a really good stick on that team. And Danny Rosenberger, so she's Sam's little sister. She's a slapper and an outfielder. She's real fast. I just saw that she had broken the single season record for stolen bases at Riverside, which is pretty cool. But she's an outfielder. She's a strong player as well, and should help this team out a lot down the stretch in the playoffs here. And then of course Southside, what did they get? They got like a 11 seed. I didn't write it down. Let me pull it up. I can't believe I didn't write that one down. So they are single A, and they do have these brackets online, by the way. they put them up as they talked about them. But Southside is going to be playing Leechburg, and I really don't know nothing about Leechburg. I don't know if anyone else does, but I do not. But Southside got a 10 seed, and Leechburg is 7 seed, and I think that once you realize that Southside had, they've graduated a lot of players over the past couple of years, and they got a lot of young kids playing. So I'm sure that district is really excited that they made the playoffs, and hopefully they can pull it together and possibly get a win out. Now I don't know a lot of the girls in that team, and if Southside, if you're out there watching, I need someone to reach out to me and hook me up with the Southside coaching or somebody who has a say in the players there, because I really haven't been able to follow them this year for whatever reason. I looked on their I looked for their Game Changer. I see that they do it because they take screenshots and put it on Facebook, but I can't find them in Game Changer, and I don't know what it is. And I'm an IT guy, so I would hope to think I'm not doing something wrong, but who knows? I don't know. But like I said, I can't find them, and I've emailed the coach a couple times, but she hasn't responded, so I don't know. She may not be an email person. I don't know. If anyone knows Southside, please have them reach out to me or help them make that connection so I can get more information for them. But yeah, that's it. So if you need to check out the brackets, I can definitely share that link. I'll put it on Facebook. Hopefully most of everyone who's interested in watching this is also on Facebook. I know not everyone is on Facebook. In fact, I'm starting to realize that a large part of the population isn't on Facebook, which I can understand why, because I wish I wasn't on Facebook. But yeah, and the other thing too that I want to talk about here just real quick is, if anyone's still watching YouTube, I need everyone to subscribe here. And the reason why is because my goal is to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the summer. And once we get into these youth games, which is the youth schedule right here, once we start pumping into those, it's going to be hopefully I can get enough of the youth program to get me into that 500 range. The ultimate goal is to get into 1,000 followers, and the reason why is because once you get into the 1,000 subscribers and have so many watch hours, that's when you get into the monetization of YouTube. And it's all new to me, and I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. But once we can get monetized in YouTube, that's going to help bring in some cash for to help me pay for a lot of the expenses that I'm paying out of my own pocket, as well as upgrades with equipment and different things. So, it's something that I'm definitely interested in. Right now, the network is kind of surviving on sponsorships. I did buy new equipment that I paid for with the Mevo raffle, as well as my own money, actually. But what it is it's called a YOLO box, and it allows me to connect several different cameras to it. And one thing that I want to do is I want to buy a camera that has a long zoom that I can hang in the center field, right center, and zoom in on the batter's box and have a straight on view during the game. So that's one goal that I want to do, and I'm going to start using some of this equipment during the youth games and just trying to get things prepared and ready for varsity next season. So it's exciting. This network kind of took off faster than I expected it to. This year with my daughter being a senior, I just kind of wanted to dip my toe in it just to see what the interest would be. And it honestly, it really took off. And, I'm excited about it. With my daughter graduating next year, I'll be able to do more games. And what I'm going to do is, this year I was just thinking about doing Beaver County teams, but now I think what I'm going to do is, if a Beaver County team is playing home, regardless of their opponent, I'm going to stream those games, and because I think there's a lot of good games that I'm missing with the just having Beaver County teams involved. So hopefully with those changes, it'll get even better games on the network. And again, I do want to do more games, and I'll be able to now that my daughter's going to graduate, and I'll have more free time to do that stuff. So so good luck in the playoffs. I still have another recap show with some highlights. I got highlights of the Elwood City game, and I also have highlights of the Beaver Falls upset of Central Valley. So I'll play those highlights as well. I didn't stream that game, and I just assumed that, honestly, I just was like, I ain't going to stream it, because I thought it was going to be a similar game that they played before. But I didn't know that Callie Legsden was going to play in that game. And had I known that, I probably would have streamed it, just because that one player made such a difference on that team. And they were excited, man. They were pumped. They were confident. And, they didn't really give Central Valley a chance. And it was a really good game for Beaver Falls. And I have to honestly tell you, had Callie been on that team all year, and she didn't injure her leg, I just wonder, what kind of noise they could have made in that section. I'm not sure they would have made the playoffs, but she definitely would have made things interesting in that section. So I'll do that this week, and then I need to figure out what I'm going to do for the playoffs. I'll probably have some highlight shows. Maybe if I can pull some highlights off of the live feeds through the Trib. Maybe I can do that. And of course, if anyone wants me to stream their games, as long as it doesn't interfere with my daughter's games, we can do that. I just need to talk to the Trib and figure out how to get that rights. We have to buy the rights to do it. But if you're interested in it, let me know, and then I can see what we can do. So that's it. So I hope everyone enjoyed this, and sorry about the earlier technical challenges, and Don Rebel was late coming on, and he showed up with his daughter, or maybe it was his granddaughter, but he was doing babysitting duties, so I'm sure that's why he was late. But we all have to deal with that here at some point in your life. So okay, so that's it. So thanks everyone, and for those of you teams playing in the playoffs, good luck, and let's cheer each other on from Beaver County, and hopefully some of us can get deep into the playoffs.